Good morning and welcome to the Botsukaioji, the Animal Liberation Temple. One moment as I am still setting up the live stream. Good morning and welcome to the Botsukaioji, the Animal Liberation Temple. I am still working on getting my live stream set up. That's why you might hear an echo. Hmm. Good morning, Neil. Good morning, Yolanda. Yeah, I think I fixed the echo. Hopefully that is correct. And just checking the live streams. There we go. All right, I believe everything's working. And if it's not, maybe somebody can let me know. Thank you, Neil, for sharing our streams in the various places as usual. That's super nice of you. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Martin. So good to see you folks here again. I feel very fortunate to have some regular folks that just kind of tune in on a regular. That's super helpful. and getting our message out there. Real quick, wanted to mention that we do have our fundraisers going. There is a link to donate, I believe, on all the platforms. So, like if you're on Instagram, the links are in the bio. If you are on YouTube, the links are in the description, but they're not active links yet because my YouTube is not fully verified. And then if you're on Facebook, the links are in the pinned comment. Let us do our updates. First, some of the building projects we have going here. The bathroom is nearly done. I have some last plumbing to do. I'm noticing I'm collecting a lot of algae in my filters. That's something I'm going to have to address. I think it might be clogging the filter, unfortunately. Otherwise, I wouldn't worry because if I'm seeing a lot of algae in the filter, it means it's being caught by the filter. But I'm worried that it's lowering the water pressure. And so it's just kind of like this ongoing thing that I'm trying to, figure out the plumbing and electrical, and all these things are really difficult. Good morning, Tani. My mother tuned in this morning, so good to see her tuning in. First off, we have our duck friends, Breve, Greve, Amanda, and Renee, all doing really well. Renee is in her pond. It's where she loves to spend majority of her time. Lucy the dog is right here walking back and forth. Jingda the dog is inside, hopefully sleeping. He, again, can't walk too well. I have to help him. Then we have Rob, Matt, and Philip, our goat friends down the hill, doing really good. The tortoises are very sleepy, not eating that much because it's cold, kind of in that half hibernation stage. Yati hasn't come out. Well, he came out yesterday. He poked his head out of his little house and kind of went halfway out and just kind of stayed there for a moment. Not very active. Then, of course, we have Ray, who's right here to my right. He slept inside the house last night. I got up at like 2 in the morning because I heard some noises, and that's just what I do. When I hear noises out here, I come out here and check on everybody. And Ray was just standing at the door. So I was like, hey, Ray, you're not in your little home, so do you want to come inside? So he came inside the house, and he slept in the house last night, so that's totally okay. Then we got Jackson, Oscar, and Jimmy over there on the Cornish side. Our guinea fowl friends, Kyle and Wendy, are doing really well. The roosters in the main aviary are Sabrina May doing well, Brad, Hard One, Mr. Black, Elton, and Magnus all doing super good. And then we have the hens over on the main aviary, Glennis, Gwen, Alice, Melissa, Melinda, Sunny, Dora, and Daniela all doing really well. I noticed that, I think it's Glennis, has a little striped feather. One striped feather coming out. Maybe I'll try to see if I can get that on the tour. It's really cute. The rat friends are doing really good, Yamabushi and Hasu. I need to order them new beds because they're hammocks, because they kind of mess them up after a while. They start eating them and kind of getting them real dirty. So if they were just dirty, I'd wash them, but because they're eating them, I'm gonna have to replace them. But that lasted for about 6 months, so not too bad. They're not too expensive. Sequoia got a new kennel, little house for her. That's a more rat proof because the rats were getting in there and just kind of like stressing her out. The rats leave Sequoia alone, but they kind of stress her out a little bit. So, I wanted to give her a little bit more safety. So Sequoia got a new home. Then we have our Cornwall corner over there with Poppy, Aster, Ivy, Azalea, Peony, Cynthia, Lotus, Edward, Magnolia, Hazel, Sage, Marigold, Camilla, Hydrangea, Holly, and Zinnia. All of our Cornishes are doing really good. And then, of course, we have the 40 pigeons, FP, Champagne, Appletini, Tulin, Sasha, Yo-Yo, Petey, Ricky, Spencer, Shambles, Beluga, Beth, Pee Wee, Cascade, Augustus, and Frankie, Rufus, Harper, Elliot, Snickers, Boba, Kismet, Farah, Angus, Pandora, Jones, Finch, Sin, Harriet, Lago, Fred, Tramonto, Halo, Vin, Capone, Thimble, Percy, Pacino, Lacey, and Sasha. I have one of the pigeons kind of isolated. I cleaned out Sequoia's old kennel and put it into the pigeon coop, and now I have. Ooh, what's her name? It would be Pandora. Pandora is in there because she's been having a lot of difficulties walking lately, which kind of makes her not want to fly. She can fly, I noticed, but when she's having trouble walking like that, I was told that give her some isolation space so that the other pigeons don't pick on her. So she got her own food and water in there. 1 second, I got Jingda asking for me to help. I think Jingda's just a little grumpy this morning. Just checking the comments. Yeah, Lucy is wonderful. She does look peaceful all the time. I'm hoping the bathroom does make a huge difference for me. It should be nice. Yeah, we're gonna have to build a lot more on the property so everybody can retire here. I think that'd be really nice. Yeah, then I'll have the volunteer help that I need. So those are all the updates. Let's get started with the morning prayers and sutras. As always, dedicated to our dear animal friends. I've always mentioned. Oh, so good to see. Hopefully I'm live again. Yeah, we're back. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know why my OBS just crashed on me. I restarted and it worked. But so good to see Sirsha Aiden here on YouTube. I'm so happy that folks are there watching our live streams. Yeah, sorry about that crash, everybody. That was kind of strange. I just need to recheck the live streams. Make sure we're still good. Yeah, it looks like we're still good on Instagram. A lot of people join on Instagram. I don't know if they stay there and watch, but welcome everybody there on Instagram. So good to see folks. Makes me really happy to see people there. All right, hopefully we stay not. I hope that doesn't crash again. That was very strange. Oh, I'm so good to see. Sirsha is a friend of Neil's. So Neil helping our YouTube channel out getting there. Anyway, I think I was saying that if you have the ability for some wild animals, even insects or birds or things like that, to be able to hear these prayers, it's of great benefit to them. And our services are dedicated to our dear animal friends. We'll start with the recitation of the Heart Sutra, found on page 4 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. 赤般若波羅蜜多心経漢字在菩薩行人般若波羅蜜多自相見言開苦道一切苦役者利子式福苦不意式式属税苦属税式重創業式薬分業税者利子税商法苦訴不傷不滅不苦不浄不増不減税国中無式無常創業式無限に微絶真に無式証拠未速法無限界内し無意識界無無明薬無無明人内し無老死薬無老死人無苦種滅道無知薬無得意無所特攻膨大サッタエハンヤハラミダ高心無形下無形下公無苦分離一切天道無相苦行涅槃三世諸仏へ般若波羅蜜多高徳はノクタラ三脈三菩提高知般若波羅蜜多税来真宗税来妙宗税無常宗税無等道宗の上一切苦心実不高校絶般若波羅蜜多種族絶種圧逆手逆手腹逆手腹そう逆手ボディソワカ般若心経レグワクはこの功徳をもってあまねく一切に及ぼし我ら都市者と皆友の仏道 Animal Liberation の上善ことを慈悲三世佛子孫菩薩佛子孫菩薩摩訶薩摩訶補者ホロミSo good to see Brenda watching this morning. Thank you for tuning in. Give me 1 second while I check on Jingda. You okay, Jingda? We'll now recite the refuge prayer in Tibetan and then in English. Sangye chadan tuki chanam la janju padu tekni gyapsu chi daki jinzo ki pe sonam ki drola pendra sangye ju par sho The Buddha, Dharma, and excellent assembly of the Sangha. Until I attain enlightenment, these I take refuge. By my practice of the six perfections, may all sentient beings attain the state of Buddhahood. We now recite the four great Bodhisattva vows, Shigi Seigan, page 9 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. Shujo Muhen Segando Bono Mujin Segandan Homon Muryo Seganga Botsudo Mujo Seganjo. However numerous sentient beings, I vow to enlighten them all. However inexhaustible my delusions, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the dharmas, I vow to master them all. However endlessly enlightened way, I vow to follow it fully. We'll now recite the 6 vows to our dear animal friends. However numerous my dear animal friends, I vow to liberate them all. However diverse the methods of animal liberation, I vow to support them all. However unheard their voices, I vow to speak out for them all. However painful and inexhaustible the methods of suffering, I vow to bear witness to them all. However infinite the cages and tanks, I vow to empty them all. However difficult animal liberation, I vow to achieve it completely. We now recite the 100-syllable Vajrasattva purification mantra. Om Vajrasattva Maya Nuvalaya Vajrasattva Te No Patista Te Dome Bava Sito Me Bava Suposo Me Bava Narato Me Bava Sarva Sita Me Prayata Sarva Karma Sita Me Sitam Shri Yam Guru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sava Tata Gata Vajrama Me Mucha Vajri Bava Mahasamamya Sapaha. I think you made there was a good comment about insects over here. Many of them unfortunately get killed, and I don't want them in the house, but there's so many developments and wars, too many of them will probably go extinct over time and then creates more imbalance in the ecosystem we all live in. I agree that that the extinction of our dear insect friends is a horrible thing to face. The only solace I take in any of that is that our insect friends will probably outlive us. They will, I think humans will go extinct before all of the insects will. They're quite resilient. However, I think the point is that we need to be more mindful of our insect friends and making sure that we don't cause any more unnecessary harm to them. Years old, not sure, rescued her from the parking lot, and she's vocalizing in her old age. Yeah, I bet. I'm really appreciative of you, Yolanda, for taking care of our elderly friends. I remember my cat Mau Mau. She passed away at the age of 21. I had a really happy life, and I was so happy to be able to share that with her. Um, Really wonderful cat. So I miss Mau Mau, and I miss being able to hang out with cats. This is probably not the best environment for cats up here, um, but I do miss them. So today we'll continue our lessons on the daily practices. We have already talked about Monday's practice, which was the changing of the bardos. Tuesday's practice was protecting. Wednesday's practice was healing. I think that was last week. And this week we'll be talking about Thursday's practice, which is wisdom and prayer for our dear companion animal friends. I think there were some comments on Facebook last week about how we need to remember our wild animal friends, as well as our friends that are hurt in like the zoos and the entertainment industry, and like the different various ways that humans exploit animals, and to be mindful of them as well. And since I was talking about specifically farmed animals that week, I didn't really mention the other animals, but I want to ensure folks that that's kind of the purpose of the 7 daily prayers, is that they do mention each one of those different types of animals that are exploited, unfortunately, due to humans who exploit them in the different industries. But this week we will be talking about. My mother always misspells Mau Mau. But she was a really good friend. My mother took care of Mau Mau for many years. And, as I moved about, Mau Mau always was able to land with either my mother or myself. But Mao, Mao, Mau Mau, like the Chinese spelling. 1 second while I check on Jingda. You okay, Jingda? So if you have the Animal Liberation Temple prayer book, the Thursday's practices start on page 33, and they are wisdom and prayers for our dear companion animal friends. And it starts with, and I'll just read it straight from the book and stop where some things might be able to be explained. Within the stable samadhi and radiance of prajna, all practices are gathered within the great perfection and then infinitely radiated outward. Inward or outward arise at the same presence of indescribable bliss. The unseen, unsensed sources vanish in the majestic mist of its own qualities, simply and utterly at ease, having entered through the merest gates between worlds. We now abide resplendent in the infinity of space. So this first part is like a very poetic way that you might need to like read over and over to kind of understand the gist of it, but I'll try to explain a little bit easier. Is the idea is that wisdom kind of comes naturally through meditation, relaxation, and that like really true wisdom should come through the calming of the mind, and when you're able to sit in this state of samadhi, which means like this state of meditation where all thoughts cease to exist and all thoughts kind of drop off. And at that moment, like real wisdom can kind of like materialize when we free ourselves from all the attachments and afflictive emotions that kind of hinder our ability to realize any true wisdom. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. It's just this explanation of like where wisdom comes from. Then the second paragraph reads, "We pray for the wisdom of self and others to best serve and care for our dear animal friends. We manifest the wisdom to best support all the diverse methods of animal liberation." So this part here is the paragraph that is specific to our temple, and we talk about that not only are we wanting this type of wisdom for ourselves, but for others as well. And the purpose for that is to, best care for our dear animal friends, and that we manifest that wisdom to best support the diverse methods of animal liberation, so that kind of putting the intention out there that we may not always be able to see clearly what that best method is, but we're hoping through this state of samadhi, through gaining wisdom, through meditation, and freeing ourselves from the afflictive emotions, that we can more easily see how a method of animal liberation might manifest themselves. We manifest the wisdom to best speak on behalf of our dear animal friends, and the knowledge to take the best action on behalf of them. So again, manifesting wisdom, like I already talked about, but as well as being the knowledge of what the best action might be for our specific situation and on our specific, maybe geographic location, maybe for our best place where we might be able to, where our bodies might be in the moment, where our minds might be in the moment, where whatever circumstance is presented to us, that we're able to take the best action forward. We pray for the wisdom of organizations, leaders, organizers, activists, caretakers, and all who work diligently to serve our dear animal friends and the plight for their liberation. So again, not only ourselves that we want to take the best action and have that wisdom, but we also want the wisdom of organizations and leaders and organizers and activists, caretakers. So for their wisdom as well is kind of what we are hoping to manifest. And then the mantra that gets recited here is a Prajna Paramita mantra, which is like a mantra that kind of like brings us towards enlightenment, or expresses the desire or the wish to go towards enlightenment. And the purpose is to be able to have that wisdom to best serve others, to best serve our dear animal friends. That is the Gete Gete Hara Gete Hara So Gete Boji Sowaka. And then of course we're reciting the Great Heart of Wisdom Sutra, which we do at the beginning of every service on Sunday, but then it kind of repeats here on the Thursday prayer as well. Calming of the mind is something I try to achieve, especially in difficult circumstances. It's a great practice, Yolanda, and sometimes, we may not need it in every circumstances, and so that's when the practice really comes into play. Maybe there's a circumstance that is difficult in the moment, and there's really nothing that we can do about it. But what we can do is try to calm our mind, so that the next time where there is something that we can do about that difficult circumstances, we've already practiced that calm mind. So we have practice at being able to approach difficult circumstances with a calm mind. So regardless of whether we have the ability to do something about it or not, we should always approach difficult circumstances with that calm mind. So thank you for bringing that up, Yolanda. Then we go into the actual prayer for our dear companion animal friends. And it reads, "Today let us send all of our merit, past, present, and future." So I always kind of start a lot of our prayers like that, of anything that I've accumulated, any merit that I might have. I kind of try to send it from the past, from the present right now and the future, I send to all my companion animal friends suffering homelessness on the streets, loneliness in kennels, suffering abuse, and/or live lives in breeding mills. All who suffer at the suffering at the hands of humans. It's very self-explanatory there. May all suffering and the causes of suffering to our dear companion animal friends be forever ceased. So a declaration, just wanting that suffering to end immediately and forever. May all obstacles on the path to liberation of our dear companion animal friends be removed. May our dear companion animal friends be filled with love and compassion. So the beginning of that kind of sets our intention of what we want this prayer to do and what we are expecting of it. And then we address specifically our companion animal friends, such as our deer dogs, cats, horses, ponies, reptiles, hamsters, guinea pigs, rabbits, snakes, mice, turtles, tortoises, birds, ferrets, sugar gliders, frogs, toads, fish, and so many others. So kind of just touching on all the different types of companion animals that folks might have. And again, you could always add more to this list if they pertain to you, or if you're thinking specifically about some companion animal friends that you want to address, and you can always add that to that list. These are just some of the common ones that I came up with. May you have peace and joy in this precious life of yours. Some of you want to live free of human interference, and some of you truly want to be a part of your human family. So kind of like acknowledging that some of our companion animal friends really do want to be with us, and we have this kind of mutual beneficial relationship. And some companion animals that we consider companion animals really don't want anything to do with us. And so maybe we're in a situation where we need to care for them. And so caring for them maybe means that giving them their space while still providing them with the basic care that they need: shelter, food, water, things like that, medical care, but kind of giving them that space and being able to make that decision of like, maybe this sugar glider needs to be out in the wild and I shouldn't be taking them in, or a raccoon, a raccoon friend of mine that I kind of find out in the wild, and I trap them because I want to, hang out with raccoons because we all love raccoons. And this is probably something that's not a good idea. So this prayer is kind of acknowledging that some of our what we consider companion animal friends really don't want anything to do with us, and that's okay. We bear witness to your suffering. We take both physical and spiritual action to end your suffering and demand others do the same. So I really like this part of this prayer, bearing witness to the suffering, taking both that physical and spiritual action to do something about it, and make the additional demand that others do the same, that others are not continuing to exploit animals. If that means, talking to a puppy mill owner and kind of demanding them that they need to shut down, that they need to stop this. If that means taking action like protesting those kind of places or protesting the places that support puppy mills. I think these are all part of what part of that demand and part of this prayer. We continually accumulate and dedicate all of our merit, love, and compassion to comfort you and to transform the hearts of those who support this oppression. So again, we take all of our accumulated merit, and we want it to go to our dear animal friends who might be suffering, so that they experience love and compassion, and we want to be able to transform the folks who are responsible for this exploitation. May all your suffering end immediately, right here and now, through me. May you quickly experience happiness, safety, freedom, and animal liberation. May you be reborn in whatever life is most beneficial for all sentient beings. And that kind of concludes the Thursday practices. We always kind of like I mentioned last week, I like this last line: may you be reborn in whatever life is most beneficial for all sentient beings. I kind of reject the idea that there's one specific life form is better than the other, and really what it kind of doesn't matter if we're reborn as a human, reborn as a chicken, reborn as a god, reborn as a ghost. The idea is that we want beings to be the most beneficial to themselves and others. and we don't always know exactly where that might be, and it's kind of like humbling ourselves to the idea that like well, maybe humans aren't the best reincarnation, or maybe you know I would love to be a soaring eagle, and that sounds beautiful. But if that's not the most beneficial for all sentient beings, maybe that's not where we want to end up. Maybe we want to end up in a place that is beneficial to others. And this is part of recognizing that our own liberation, our own happiness is dependent on others. And that's kind of like an ongoing message of this temple, that that our happiness, that our freedom from suffering is dependent on other beings, and so that's why we mindfully and with wisdom engage with the world and engage with others to be able to help all sentient beings. One moment. I'm going to read these comments, but I need to check on Jingda. Ooh, it's very cold. Let me start the heater here soon. Oh. Yeah, you definitely can add other animals to the deer, dogs, cats, etc. If you know, one doesn't come to mind right now, but any of the animals that you think that are uses, that are companion animals or are unfortunately maybe used by the industry as companion animals. I think like I mentioned fish, but maybe you want to be specific, like goldfish. Unfortunately, are bred into existence for the benefit of human beings, and it's not even a true benefit. It kind of is I'd rather say to our detriment. Actually, is those animals unfortunately are bred that way. It's like wrathful compassion. Yeah, I really want to talk about that one of these Sundays. Is the idea of wrathful compassion. I wonder if there is any beings such as angels. If they are, they must be very involved. Yeah, I think this idea of angels, like maybe they are like demigods, I think maybe is something that the Buddhists would kind of explain them as. Or often the angels get translated in Buddhist philosophy as like the bodhisattvas. And to me, the bodhisattva is just the idea of living a life that's dedicated to all other sentient beings. Is the idea of recognizing um, that our own happiness and freedom of suffering is dependent on others, and so therefore we put others ahead of our own interests, because we recognize that their interests are our interests. So that's like the idea of the bodhisattva, or the idea that I vow to continue the cycle of reincarnation until all beings are enlightened, and that I won't go to the other shore until all beings can go with me. And those are sometimes, that the bodhisattva is sometimes translated as the angels. And anybody can take the bodhisattva vow or consider themselves a bodhisattva by taking those vows. Yeah, so this idea of the belief in angels, from the idea that I think that there are beings out there who are truly dedicated to the benefit of all sentient beings, in a very clear way, and are taking action and doing things for all sentient beings. I do believe those are what we would call angels or bodhisattvas. I like that topic, and maybe we'll expand on that. This idea of the bodhisattvas and angels and stuff. These are great topics for the other weeks. Um, but we could talk about this kind of stuff for hours and hours, and then nobody would turn into my services because they're too long. But we will continue with the conclude with the animal liberation prayer, the dedication of merit, and a quick sanctuary tour. We'll start with the Animal Liberation Prayer, page 12, 13, and 14 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who are subject to unbearable pain and labs throughout the world, be free of all suffering. May alternatives to animal experimentation, vivisection, and dissection be implemented immediately. May bodhicitta, the quality of compassion that leads to enlightenment, fill the hearts of those who imprison them. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who suffer endless days, months, and years, locked in tiny cages, unable to move, be filled with peace and calm. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who are forcibly taken from their families, be reunited, and may all families be able to stay together. May the hearts of those who work in slaughterhouses, factory farms, and all industries that exploit our dear animal friends be filled with bodhicitta, so the very thought of harm is purified. May they never kill again. May the slaughterhouse lines, factory farms, and all industries that exploit our dear animal friends become immediately empty. May no animal be afraid or depressed. May their bodies be free of injuries, disease, and illness. May the mutilation of their bodies be forever ceased. May those who need homes that have been driven from them find shelter, plentiful food, and water. May there be liberation for those tortured for fur, entertainment, or who are hunted. May those who believe that they are superior to our brother and sister animals develop perfect equanimity, and may they realize in their hearts that all sentient beings possess Buddha nature, the potential to be completely free of suffering, and that they are not ours to kill or exploit. May the billions of land and sea-dwelling sentient beings who are abused, exploited, and killed due to greed, hatred, and ignorance be free of suffering. May all the nets, hooks, blades, projectiles, traps, snares, cages, pens, tanks, lethal restraints, saddles, reins, prods, bait, poison, and all instruments used to harm, exploit, and dominate our dear animal friends be forever abolished. May all human and non-human sentient beings live together in harmony, peace, equanimity, and achieve perfect enlightenment quickly. May we all experience happiness, safety, freedom, and animal liberation in this very lifetime. We now recite the dedication of merit. Throughout our many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue we have accomplished, including this aspiration for peace, and all that we will ever attain, this we offer for the benefit of all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends. May suffering, exploitation, and unnecessary death be decreased for every being, while wisdom, bliss, and compassion increase in this and every future life. May we clearly and instantly perceive the plight of our dear animal friends with the urgency and seriousness that they deserve, and our every action leads us to complete liberation. May we quickly attain enlightenment and work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Okay, we will start our sanctuary tour now. Try not to go too fast. Out. That's Ray. Oh, I don't know why. There's always an echo when I switch the mics. Hey, Jingda. I know, baby. Sequoia's new home. Hey, Sequoia. The rats are sleeping, so I would say hi to the rats, but they're sleeping right now. There's Sequoia. Yeah, aren't you a happy boy? I'm not sure. All right, let us. Oh, yeah, there's the bathroom. Basically complete as far as a room. Water heaters, a sink, medicine cabinet. No toilet yet. Too expensive. Trying to fundraise. Maybe one day I'll have a toilet. Um, but here's the shower room, which is completely outdoor shower room. A beautiful view while taking a shower or bath. My bathtub, shower head. Yeah. And it kind of connects here to the medical building. And we'll go to the pigeon aviary. I want to take the pigeon. I want folks to see the pigeon aviary again because we got a bunch of new residents. We're currently at 40 pigeons, which is the capacity for this aviary, based on cubic feet. I don't know what the math was exactly, but Palomacy decided that, with considering our cubic feet that we have, it is ideal for us to be at about 40 pigeons. Here's FP. And there's Pandora kind of resting up. She's having a little bit difficulty walking, but I'm happy to see her on her feet again and not just like laying down. But all the nesting boxes. There are 20 nesting boxes because we have 40 non-human, 40 pigeons. There's their view that they get to see every day. More pigeons up on their little roost there. All right. The Cornwall corner with all our Cornish girls and one boy. And this is Oscar. Yeah, Oscar, I know. We're gonna go around the long way. That way we can see, hopefully I don't lose the live stream though. I forgot, I probably shouldn't be going too far. Well, that is Jax. Jax X. Nope. There's Jimmy. I can hear myself on the laptop, which means I probably didn't lose connection. All right. There's the famous Dora. Here's Harriet. Hi, Harriet. There's Priya. Let's find Glennis. And so her little one striped feather butt. Where are you? I think that's you. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. She has one striped feather on her butt. Oh, she gave us a little gift there, poop. She's not a striped hen, but she has one striped feather. It's really, really cute. And Sunny. And Alice. And Elton over here. Daniela. Greve. Renee. Let's see, the ducks enjoying their pond. All right, I am gonna walk back. I still don't have the ability to see comments while I'm walking around, and I'm really sorry about that. I need to figure that out. I just haven't yet. Maybe I need 2 phones or something to do that. I don't know. I know we're zoomed out, but that's just where we're at. I look like my live stream is like struggling in a lot of places. I don't know what's happening with that. Hopefully everybody is still on. You can still see everybody. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us here at the, oh, let me change the mics. Thank you everybody for joining us here at the Animal Liberation Temple, Dobutsu Kyoji, where we are at the service of the spiritual and physical liberation of our dear animal friends. Please, if you have the ability to donate, please do through our links. Like I said, Instagram links are in the bio, Facebook link is in the pinned comment, and the YouTube links are in the description, but you might have to type them out because they're not active links yet. Still need to go through the verification of YouTube stuff. Otherwise, we are still looking for volunteers. That's super helpful. And just sharing. So getting our messages to the right people who may have the ability to donate would be super helpful. We're still trying to like gear up for the winter here. We need heaters, we need batteries, we need new structures. There's still a lot of work to be done before it gets way too cold and the raining season starts to set in. So we're looking for help to get all that stuff done. But thank you everybody for tuning in this week. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them here or message us directly. I would love to hear from folks. Otherwise, I'll see everybody next week. Thank you so much.